He was the first one to actually be bare naked and honest with the realities of what the street and the consequences of the street can bring. You know, he was the Proust of the projects.
Come on for presidents to represent me.
It's like a conversation, right? It's like a conversation.
But see, he was always able to do that, man. Even with Ed Man Wednesday, you would drop the beat a cappella, you would just talk to the crowd and rap, and they would just be sucked in, man. Like his whole style is conversational to me. When you rhyme it, it's like
Right.
It ain't just like rhyming. It's like, yo, he's actually talking to me.
Mike Machete flow.
It's the setup, it's the resolutions and the releases and the tension. This music got crazy tension. 1 minute you feeling like, ooh, and it lets you go, and it got you like that again. You know what I mean? That's how the music takes you.
Right. Dead Presidents is money. You know, it was our chase for our chase for the life, and that was our obsession with it because we didn't have it. You know, the reason why guys or rappers are drawn to Scarface and movies like that because they see themselves as the villain, and you see someone come from nothing and make it for how long, for however brief they make it. You know, that's something that draws you in. So I tell you half the story, the rest you filling in, long as the villain win. You know, it's that mentality.
I tell you half the story, the rest you feel it in.
Presidents, it was almost, to me, it was like a sad, but at the same time, it was kind of inspirational. You know what I mean? Certain parts of the music kind of, you know, brought you down and brought you back up. And so I kind of felt that when Jay told the story that he did, the Dead Presidents verses on that just like meshed perfectly with the emotions that the sample was bringing out.
And then this is rapping. The Soviet Union, the unified, steady flow. You already know, you light, I'm heavy dough, heavy roll. Mike Machete, your flow is really driven by the track. The track really dictates, you know, what's being said on it. With these guys, it wasn't just a collaboration, it was a relationship also. So they kind of knew who I was, and they knew where I was coming from. So these beats wasn't just beats that they just made for anybody. You know, they was almost tailor-made, like, you know, with the person in mind.
The producer role was basically, at that time for me, was creating the backdrop, the soundtrack to the artist's life. My job was to capture what he was saying and what he was feeling and turn it into music. You know what I mean? If he was feeling like he wanted to go out and talk about hard times, I had to come up with a track that could do that. If he felt like, yo, I want to, you know, talk about how much money, I want to be flashy, I had to come up with a backdrop for that movie. Every song was a movie, so I was like basically creating the soundtrack, the score. I was scoring all his starts. I was the score. What I basically did was, you know, sampled the Lonnie Liston joint into the 950, get all my drums on the SP, did all my sequencing, just basically tore it apart and reconstructed it back into this box right here.
Anything like that captures the time. That what was going on at that time, and it's just a part of that time. When a song comes on, it instantly takes you back there. So truth resonates through time.
Practice, never reenact this. The simple fact is I'm real good at this. This ticket of style is making the mind and jiggy jazz. You know what I'm talking about, or where I'm going too fast. Here's a warning, you might want to get gas. There's only one for 99, and my stops the last.
I would write all the time. It's really weird. I would write every day, write all the time. And then I start running the streets, and then I was getting a ton of wealth of knowledge from, you know, just living life and having experiences. And this music, like, so infection, I had to write. So go inside these grocery stores, grab a paper bag, write on it, put it in my pocket until I get home, and then I could transfer it in the proper notebook. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you only need so many papers you can hold, you know, in your pocket. So I had to start memorizing these things to take them home. You know, and it became an exercise for me. Every day I'm trying to memorize 8 bars, then 16 bars, and I'm memorizing the whole song. Then I start getting away from the house further and further. So I had to start memorizing longer and longer. You know, my journey back home is getting further and further. It took me from New York to Trenton to Maryland to Virginia, DC. You know, it was getting further and further away from me. My story is similar to a lot of people. You know, we've all been faced with the same pressures and things to deal with. So everyone relates to that part of it. Where you take it and what happens and how your story is told is on you. Which fork in the road, which way you go defines your life.